Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a pretty exciting video, in all honesty, for me to make. I am smiling even if you can't see it, because it's just been such a journey, right? And it has been pretty fun, and I am glad that I decided to do this. So, for those who don't know what it is exactly I'm talking about, I'll go over here and show you guys. You can check when your account was made through the data bank when going to characters and MC. And as you can see here, I made this account back in March 14th of the last year, which is only about a week and a half away from current day, right? So, it has been almost the 1 year anniversary since I have made this free-to-play account and gone on the journey of seeing what it's like to play this game without being a low spender. Because keep in mind, I am always, if I have, the ability to, a low spender on my gacha accounts or gacha games I actively play, because for me it's a no-brainer to get monthly passes, which give you like an extra 24 pulls every single patch at the cost of only like technically $7 a patch, right? So what has the progress been on this account and the characters I have? Now, I do want to get one thing out of the way. Even though I did start to pull optimally on this account probably midway through V3, keep in mind this was not a purely optimal pull account. The main goal behind this free-to-play account was always to get an E6 Anoxa, right? And I don't think I need to explain how bad of an investment E6 Anoxa of all things is. He is really the only Amphorius main DPS whose vertical investment is so bad it's not comparable to the rest of the E6 main DPSs, except for the collab characters who purposely had their Eidolon investment butchered because their banners are on all the time. Right, so E6 Anoxa was not at all a good investment. I just want to get that out there because I recently made a post saying that I feel like my free-to-play account may be a little unrelatable to most people, but when I say this, I'm mostly talking about me optimally pulling for like Cyrene Saridra, the earlies and the 50-50 wins I got on Saridra, not my E6 Anoxa, because in reality, this account would be more unrelatable if I took the 6 cost extra I put into Anoxa's Eidolons and I put it instead into something like E2 Evernight, right? Which, by the way, I could have done, because Anoxa's rerun was on 3.6 when Evernight was running, and I decided to fully skip her so I could instead get E6 Anoxa, because back then he was only E4, right? So, without much more yap, let's see what we got on this account. We got, of course, the E6 S1 Anoxa. This was always the main goal of this account, was to make Anoxa last as long as possible. Now, at the time, people were like, yo, why are you getting E6 Anoxa? That's not the best thing to invest in him for, right? And sometimes vertically investing in a DPS and their Eidolons, even if they're mid, can end up winning you the long game, right? Because I made the mistake of pulling Sunday and Tribi because this was his best in slot team pre-Saridra and pre-Cyrene. However, now Sunday and Tribi do not have the value for Anoxa at all that they used to because of how much he got buffed by the Cyrene Saridra combo. However, this doesn't mean these two are useless, which I'll get into a little bit, right? So I do have an E0 S1 Sunday. The S1 is on buff Sparkle currently, right? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm using Archer. I do want to give Archer the advantage in the teams I run him with. Of course, we have free E0 S0 Non-Hung PT on a Claricone. We have the very recently attained E1 Saridra. I am working on getting more super impositions on this cone because, yes, believe it or not, I did not really play this game on 3.5 and I did not do the event which gave this Lycone, right? We have an E1 May, obviously, from the golden token. We have a E1 Tribi. Got this back in 3.4, which means because I spent on Sunday and Tribi in 3.4, I did get a free E0 S1 Archer. and I believe in either 3.5 or 3.6, I did decide to invest into his E1 because I realized I was probably going to use this guy as my second main DPS for a pretty long time until I end up venturing somewhere else, right? And then next, we have E0S0 Yao Guang. Now, Yao Guang, I got her from the guarantee that I had gained from losing on Cyrene in 3.7. So the original plan for this account was to get the Cyrene Serindra combo for Anoxa, get Yao Guang so I can put her as an Archer third slot, and then the next DPS investment was actually going to be Ashvale, right? Because Ashvale's best in slot team did use Tribby, not Sunday. I believe he preferred buff Sparkle, but Archer is significantly more reliant on Sparkle than, Ashvale was. So I was just going to use Sunday. However, now with these Ashvale nerfs, I'm going to be honest, this Yao Guang investment was not optimal. I made this Yao Guang investment early on. I just kind of banked on me being right that they wouldn't nerf Ashvale, but they did. So that's kind of unfortunate, but nothing you can do about it. It's impossible to optimally pull in a gacha game no matter what. Then we have the free buff Sparkle, and we got a few 50-50 lost 5-star characters here. Like we got Seal right here, and we have Welt. Welt and Seal both getting Nova Flares on 4.2, so hopefully I can maybe take good advantage of this. Now, I have a personal theory that it's possible a filler main DPS for Ashvale until he gets his real one later down the line that they sell may be Seal. So if my theory is correct, I may actually still try to pull for Ashvale if this theory ends up being true, because keep in mind, we do have 4.2 beta upcoming in like a week, right? We aren't that far away, and we will be able to see if Seal's Nova Flare might turn her into a follow-up DPS that could temporarily synergize with Ashvale until he gets his main DPS, right? But that is everything I have on this account. Reminder, E6 S1 Anoxa, E0 S1 Sunday, E1 Serindra, E1 Tribby, E1 S1 Archer, E0 S0 Yao Guang, and as well as a buff Sparkle. These are all the limited characters that I've actually had to spend on, and none of the free attainable ones. And that is a pretty good amount of progress, right? Remember, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you were to actually pull optimally, you would already be full clearing basically all the AA Knights, easily going through the King boss, all that shit, right? Because if I decided to invest into Evernight instead of Anoxa's Eidolons, I'd be having a great fucking time, but as you guys know, I obviously didn't because that wasn't the goal of this account. However, what is the future of this account now, right? Well, to be honest, the only thing left for this account to do at this point is actually care about AA. Now, a lot of people have asked me for AA clears on this account. However, I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. I haven't been able to do AA clears because of the fact that I focus so much on vertically investing into Anoxa. So I do have 2 usable teams now. Before, I was running Anoxa on Walmart teammates. However, now with me getting the free Sparkle, allowing me to put Sunday on Anoxa's team, and getting this Serindra, I can actually give Anoxa good teammates. The problem now is sustain, right? This account's only premium sustain is literally the free one. I haven't gone out of my way to pull any other limited sustains in the slightest. So the next plan for this account, something that I am guaranteed gonna try to do after I attain Cyrene, is get Huohuo Nova Flare. And it doesn't really matter what team I put her on, whether it be Archer, whether it be Anoxa's, probably Anoxa's. I think Anoxa might be able to benefit more from a Huohuo, right? I could be wrong. Maybe the beginning stacks with Donhung PT really matter, but I'd imagine a Huohuo Nova Flare would probably be quite significant to eat her ER gen and attack buffs, which are 2 things that, Anoxa's team can appreciate, and Anoxa especially loves attack percent buffs, right? So, with that being said, I am 100% eyeing Ho-Ho Nova Flare currently, and of course Cyrene to finish my Anoxa team. You guys might be asking, where does Sunday go? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know either where Sunday goes. I don't know what I'm going to do with my Yao Guang. All I can kind of hope is that they release a actual generalist main DPS in the future, similar to pre-nerf Ashvale, that can maybe use Sunday and Tribby well, and then it's like a one cost pickup, and that's a third team done and dusted for clearing AA, right? But for now, I really don't know what it is the next DPS I'm gonna pull for is. I'm just kind of sorry, I'm just kind of banking on Nova Flared Seal synergizing with Ashvale, so I can actually give myself an excuse to pull for Ashvale. But yeah, 1 year update on this account. Yes, I've gotten that many. Actually, let's count how much that is. For Anoxa, it's 8 limited, right? Anoxa is 8 limited. Sunday plus his Lycone is 10. E1 Seri makes it 12. E1 Tribby makes it 14. Archer, I only had to spend 1 on, which was his Eidolon, making it 15. 16 with Yao Guang. And that's how many limited characters I have pulled, not including the free 5 stars I've attained. So 16 in the last year. Yes, I have gotten noticeably above average luck on this Anoxa account. I'm not going to pretend I didn't. The average player, after I think a year's progress, would more realistically have about 12, in my opinion, right? So it's still a pretty steep amount, and it goes to show you like how fast you can kind of build new teams on a new account, right? And I'm going to do this and show you guys it again with my most recent speedrun account, in which I'm trying to clear endgame within a month on. That account is going to be able to get the Sparksy, Buff Sparkle, Yao Guang team with Donhong PT instantly done in this patch. Sparksy is coming out in her banner on North American servers in about 6 or 7 hours. No pun intended, right? And then after, I will pick up Ashvale, I will try for his S1, and I may even try for his E1 if I have the pulls for it, and that should be enough to clear endgame. This is the best time to get into the game because of the free limited 5-star selectors going on. Donhung PT is still free. I believe he won't be in the next patch. And yeah, just as a new player, I mean, you just have so much to farm. You have all these quests to go through. You have Divergent Universe. You have Simulated Universe. You have Currency Wars. There's another Divergent Universe reset in the next patch. I mean, there is a lot of pulls to farm as a new account. And truthfully, it's never been easier to get into the game than ever before. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.